Hi folks, Steven here. So, I wanted to take a little bit of time out right now to talk about Pokemon Pinball. So, if you're not familiar with this series, such as it is, there were two games. One was for the Game Boy Color, and one was for the Game Boy Advance. They were both developed by Jupiter Corporation. Each game had two tables, and sort of true to the theme, they focused not just on, getting a high score, but also trying to collect and evolve Pokemon to sort of fill out your Pokedex. And to sort of spice things up, each table would have a couple of sort of mini games / bosses that you would get to play occasionally. So you may be wondering, well, why do you think about that now? Well, as you may know, a week or two ago, there were a couple of pinball games released on Nintendo Switch. One of those is Pinball FX 3, that is by Zen Studios. It has more of a fantasy bend to it, in that a lot of the tables have things that you couldn't quite do in a regular pinball table, but it is still very much a pinball game. The other one that was released is Stern Pinball Arcade, and those are much more real-world table-based. They're basically, Stern is a pinball company, so that's what they have, and they've digitized those for that one. So I have been playing both. I've been enjoying them a lot. I think I like the Zen one a little bit more, but it got me wondering, what if they made a new Pokemon Pinball today? What would that be like? Well, first of all, you have to ask who would develop it. Now, Jupiter is still around. They've mostly lately been making Picross games. They made Pokemon Picross for the 3DS and a new Picross game for the Switch that came out a couple months ago. Of the two developers I mentioned a little bit earlier today, Zen, I think, might be better suited to, if they were given the task, make a Pokemon Pinball game, since they have that sort of not quite bound to what a regular pinball table can do, which I think would definitely fit the Pokemon design better. But you pick someone to work on it. What about mechanics? Well, there should definitely still be an emphasis on catching, evolving, all that stuff that the older games had. However, I would like to see some more diverse themes. The original games only had two tables each, which, was kind of okay then, but now we do kind of expect more. And I think they could do a lot with specific areas of the game, like maybe make a Safari Zone table, or that they could do some of the side games, like a Mystery Dungeon table could be interesting, or a Ranger table would be probably a good theme. They could also do stuff based on, say, some of the movies, although I have to say, once you get to that point, you're talking about getting voice actors and stuff, definitely there, and you could run into licensing issues. If you take a look at the Zen Pinball FX 3 ET table, they had to make some definite compromises there due to voice actor availability and licensing rights to certain parts of the movie, which is kind of a shame, but that can happen. Another thing I'd like to see, I think would be pretty interesting to implement, would be some sort of achievement or level up system. Pinball FX 3 does a pretty good job of this. If you complete your own goals, you'll get these little announcements that say, hey, you got this, basically this achievement. And you can also level up certain skills, sort of like make the bumpers give you more points or get rewarded for how far the ball goes. You can turn that stuff off, of course, if you want to play more straight pinball, but that's in there, and I think that would resonate well with sort of the cross Pokemon and pinball audience. But in any case, what are your thoughts? Are you at all interested in such a game? If so, who would you want to develop it? What kind of features would you be looking for? Give us a comment. Always love hearing that. All right, folks, thanks.